we had a single 12 megapixel camera. And like I stated before, and I'll probably say it again, Samsung has some of the best cameras of that year, and I think this was no exception. I think this was the same year the Pixel 3 came out, and that had a pretty good sensor, but this was kind of the time right before all those camera sensors were like the telephoto, the ultrawides, before that became super mainstream. We already had phones like the Galaxy S10, we already had phones like the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 8 Plus and the 7 Plus, and those phones had multiple sensors. So it was very interesting that Samsung didn't necessarily put an extra lens here, but they did put it on the Galaxy S9 Plus. So I still think this camera is pretty good. You can do 4K at 60 on it. It's just a wide angle lens though, and I feel like that's probably this camera's not biggest disadvantage, but it probably is something that will probably rub people the wrong way a little bit. I wish it did have, the telephoto lens or ultra wide sensor. I feel like that would have been really cool, but regardless, this photo and video quality is actually really good. And I remember not too long ago, I think last year, I saw this video of some concert thing or whatever, and I think it was like a Drake concert or A$AP Rocky concert, and somebody was actually filming it on their device, and it was actually really high quality, and people were even commenting about it. They were like, bro, what did you film this on? It looks really good. And somebody said they filmed it on like either a Galaxy S9 or Galaxy S9 Plus, they're pretty much the same phone. And that was actually really surprising that even last year people were saying that, and I have to admit it was actually pretty good quality. And the fact that this phone was the one that filmed it just shows, and it was like a low light concert, and that's just an example. I've done 50,000 videos on this thing, and I can definitely tell you the camera of this thing is good if you don't need the ultra wide or telephoto lenses. This thing, I don't think it has portrait mode, but it still has a lot of features built into that camera. So I think at the end of the day, it's still a solid sensor. On the front, you have an 8 megapixel wide angle lens, pretty good camera. You can do 1440p videos on it. Then you have like a 2 megapixel iris scanner, which is just like to scan your eyeball. I don't know why they ever did that. It was so corny, but I guess that's the future. But in terms of the camera setup, that's pretty much how I would sum it up. I think it's a good camera setup even now in 2020. It's missing those specific features, like the telephoto or ultra wide sensor, but I think the quality is still actually pretty decent. Now zooming